David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
As we come on the air tonight, President Trump announces the U.S. Iran deal is now complete, including the opening of the Strait of Hormuz and the removal of the U.S. naval blockade. President Trump is now heading to the G7 summit amid protests and tight security, with Mideast peace at the top of the agenda. The deadly crash of a skydiving plane just minutes after takeoff, the plane lifting off, making a sharp turn, then plunging back to earth. A pilot and 11 skydivers on board. No one survived. The investigation tonight. 90 million on alert for severe weather, damaging winds, hail, lightning, and possible tornadoes. The system tracking east, Atlanta to Washington, D.C., into New York as dangerous heat bakes the south and west. The historic spectacle at the White House. President Trump celebrating his 80th birthday, hosting UFC fights on the lawn. The New York Knicks clinched the NBA championship for the first time in more than 50 years. But some went too far. Dozens arrested as police try to keep peace. The urgent recall of baby formula sold at Target and online. Infants sickened in several states. The bungee jump horror. A young woman launched off a bridge without the rope attached. The dramatic rescue of an injured hiker clinging to a shaky cliff on a foggy night. How they brought him down. And tonight, the city that never sleeps, resting easy. That elusive dream for the New York Knicks has finally come true.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. We begin tonight with a big announcement from the White House. President Trump revealing moments ago that a deal is now complete with Iran, ending weeks of negotiations and mixed signals about a possible deal. The president says the deal includes opening the Strait of Hormuz immediately and ending America's naval blockade. ABC's chief global correspondent Martha Raddatz leads us off with the latest from Jerusalem tonight.
Tonight, news that a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran has been reached. President Trump posting, "The deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran is now complete. Congratulations to all. I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz and simultaneously herewith authorize the immediate removal of the United States naval blockade. Ships of the world, start your engines. Let the oil flow." This followed a day of uncertainty after Israel struck Hezbollah targets in Beirut, prompting outrage from the president. At least 3 people were killed and 6 others wounded in the strikes, according to the Lebanese civil defense, Israel insisting this was retaliation against Hezbollah. Iran's chief negotiator responding to the strikes, calling it proof that the U.S. lacks commitment, saying the bad cop, good cop game is outdated and promising its own retaliation against Israel. But the Trump administration expressed confidence early today that the deal would still go through.
The president has every intent for it to happen. The Iranians are incredibly difficult negotiators.
But the technical details of the nuclear portion are yet to be established. Former Israeli senior military intelligence officer Avner Vilan telling us that it is doubtful Prime Minister Netanyahu would support the deal.
Well, they say that it's going to deal with the nuclear problem and that Iran has promised not to produce or acquire a nuclear weapon.
Well, we've known the Iranians for many years. You don't really believe that the fact that they promised or they signed something is worth anything.
Lindsay, White House officials have said this agreement is not based on trust but verification, and this still has a very long way to go before any permanent peace or nuclear deal is hammered out. Lindsay?
Perhaps heading in the right direction, though. Martha Raddatz in Jerusalem, thank you. President Trump and other world leaders are meeting for the G7 summit in France. The economic fallout from the war with Iran is sure to dominate the agenda. ABC's senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is in Geneva tonight. Rachel, what can we expect from this summit?
Lindsay, this is the first time that the G7 leaders will be gathering since the war with Iran started. President Trump had been publicly urging our allies to get more involved in this conflict, but all of them have refused, expressing frustration with the war. Protesters already clashing with police here in Geneva ahead of the summit. Some altercations turning violent, police firing tear gas. France, which is hosting the summit, is hoping to ease tensions with the U.S. and project unity. Also invited to this year's summit, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He spoke with President Trump by phone. They will be meeting as negotiations to end the war in Ukraine have stalled, Lindsay.
Rachel Scott for us. Rachel, thank you. Back here in the U.S., a dozen people were killed in a skydiving plane crash in Missouri. Authorities say the crash happened just minutes after taking off from Butler Memorial Airport, about 65 miles south of Kansas City. The plane was just 100 feet in the air. It was taking people up for a day of skydiving, a popular activity in the area. Some of the victims' families may have actually witnessed the crash. Tonight, a city official says it appears the pilot may have been trying to make an emergency landing on a flat roadway nearby, but the plane stalled and crashed. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
Tonight, officials say a pilot and 11 skydivers on board a small plane were killed shortly after takeoff. At around 11:30 this morning, initial 911 calls reported the plane had crashed and burst into flames at Butler Memorial Airport, about an hour south of Kansas City.
The plane took off, and then at that point, it went down. We're not sure exactly anything beyond that.
The plane was a Pacific Aerospace P-750, like this one, used primarily for skydiving and cargo flights. It can hold up to 17 skydivers. The private plane was operated for Skydive Kansas City. Tonight, the Skydiving Center writing in a statement, "Our deepest sympathies are with the families, friends, and loved ones of all who were lost."
We're still trying to identify family and make notifications.
Butler's airport is small. Skydiving is popular in the area. The skydiving season in Missouri usually begins in the spring and lasts until October. Families have been gathering nearby the airport, waiting for information from the sheriff.
There's nothing we really can say to make it better. We just pray for them and their loved ones and their friends and their family, and hope that they can recover.
Lindsay, tonight it's unclear why the plane crashed. The FAA and NTSB say they'll be investigating to figure out what happened on takeoff. Lindsay.
We are certainly thinking about the victims' families. Alex, thank you. Now to the dangerous weather threat across 19 states. Nearly 90 million Americans are on alert for damaging winds, some hail and lightning. A storm chaser captured this barrage of lightning over the skies of North Texas. Here's ABC's meteorologist Leslie Lopez.
Tonight, nearly 90 million Americans on alert for severe weather as a powerful storm system bears down on the east. Those same storms bringing golf ball-sized hail to Kansas and heavy downpours throughout the Heartland. These images posted by the team at our affiliate KMBC. Downing trees and power lines, spawning at least 9 reported tornadoes in the Chicago area alone. A massive cleanup in Merrillville, Indiana, trees falling on homes, littering the street. In the West, World Cup fans and players are sweltering, and that dangerous heat is expanding into the Pacific Northwest.
And Leslie joins us now. Leslie, so tell us about this rain you're expecting in the south.
I mean, it's just not only the south. We're also looking at the northeast. I want to show you what's happening right now. We are watching out for thunderstorm activity, tornadoes, and also severe thunderstorm watches. Again, anywhere from the southeast or all the way up towards New England. And as we're looking out towards that severe weather outlook, the timing of this is happening tonight. So it could mean some hail, lightning. It could also mean some isolated tornadoes, all happening right around 8 o'clock. Also on the west coast, they're just dealing with a lot of heat. So the heat extending from central California all the way up towards areas of Washington. Extreme heat warnings, also heat advisories in there. And as we're getting going, I want to also mention that today's a big night. We're talking about the UFC Freedom 250 on the White House front lawn, and they could be impacted with severe weather and heavy rain, Lindsay. So we're going to watch, wait, and see. But thunderstorms are predicted to be in that area about the same time.
All right, we will be monitoring that, Leslie. Thank you. Now to the New York Knicks winning their first NBA championship in 53 years. The celebrations decades in the making were marred by violence as well. Some fans clashed with police, smashed vehicles, and set buses on fire in Times Square. Dozens were arrested. ABC's Perry Russum has the latest.
Tonight, a hero's welcome. The NBA champion New York Knicks arriving back home after winning their first title in 53 years. This Knicks team, relentless, pulling off yet another come-from-behind victory Saturday night on the road in San Antonio.
It's over! It's over! Knicks fans, this is not a dream! Your long, long wait has ended! Go ahead and cry after 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
Jalen Brunson, the 6'2" guard, once called too small to lead a championship team.
Brunson looks, Brunson drives, Brunson shoots, ties the game.
Carried the Knicks with 45 points.
I got no words.
Now named Finals MVP.
I put a lot of time and effort into trying to be the best player I can be to try and help a team win.
Within seconds of the Knicks clinching the series, thousands of fans flooding the streets of New York City. The New York City Fire Department riling up the crowd.
I never thought I would see anything like this.
This is the most amazing feeling in the world. New York forever, New York or nowhere!
Celebrations turning chaotic. 5 school buses being used for the World Cup destroyed, including this one set on fire. Police say 4 people were either stabbed or slashed. A 17-year-old shot in the foot near Times Square. In all, 63 people arrested overnight. After winning 2 championships at Villanova, Brunson now has an NBA title with college teammates Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, dubbed the Nova Knicks. The Knicks becoming the first team to win the NBA Finals and NBA Cup in the same season.
I've been a fan since Christmas Day '92, Knicks and Bulls. My mom made me a fan. My mom is gonna get here with me. So this means something to me.
This win means a lot to a lot of people. Now we have a parade. The mayor says it is going to be on Thursday, a ticker tape parade. There's going to be a ceremony right here at City Hall where the mayor says the team is going to get the key to the city, Lindsay.
To say the city is excited is certainly an understatement, Perry. Thank you. Now to fight night at the White House. For the first time in history, the White House is hosting UFC championship bouts as part of the celebrations for the nation's 250th anniversary and coincides with the president's 80th birthday and also Flag Day. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang.
Tonight, a first-of-its-kind spectacle at the White House. UFC Chief Dana White on stage with 2 of the fighters at the weigh-in before some 4,000 pack the arena tonight, with 120,000 fans watching from the nearby ellipse.
You can see that giant claw behind me on the White House South Lawn. That is a massive arena built to host the UFC fight tonight on President Trump's 80th birthday. It's the first time a professional sporting event has been held on White House grounds, and it is drawing fierce backlash. A federal lawsuit is trying to stop it, calling it deeply corrupt, arguing it's a for-profit sporting event designed to benefit President Trump and his allies.
But a federal judge rejecting that request, saying the cage fight can go ahead as planned. The UFC insists they're footing the bill, already topping $60 million, but it's also a marketing windfall, corporate sponsors lining the cage. Trump has a long friendship with White and owns stock in UFC's parent company. And tonight, taxpayers are footing another bill, Super Bowl-level security run by the Secret Service. It's just one piece of Trump's remaking of the nation's capital, tearing down the White House East Wing to build a massive ballroom, paving over the Rose Garden, the Oval Office, gilded in gold. The president often touting his plans for a 250-foot triumphal arch and the newly renovated Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool.
It's in better shape than it was when it was built.
But just days after completing that $14 million renovation, algae is again blooming in the reflecting pool. The Department of Interior says it's leftover algae from dormant pipes.
And Lindsay, we're out here at the National Mall tonight and not the White House because there's limited press access to the White House during the fight. Now, storms are also a possibility here tonight in Washington, D.C., but Dana White says the show will go on, rain or shine. Lindsay?
Could certainly put a damper on things, though. Selena, thank you. Now to the dramatic showdown in the English Channel. Armed British forces intercepted an oil tanker linked to Russia's shadow fleet. This is the first operation of its kind by British forces. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer posted video on social media of the raid. That tanker has been detained, is now being monitored as the investigation continues. Starmer calls this a blow to Russia. Next tonight, Senator Mitch McConnell, the former Senate Majority Leader, is in the hospital. McConnell has struggled with his health in recent years. Let's bring in ABC's Olivia Rubin. Olivia, what are you learning tonight?
Lindsay, McConnell's team says he's receiving excellent care, but so far tonight, no word on what actually sent him to the hospital in the first place. And it's just the latest in a series of health incidents for the 84-year-old senator who fractured a rib and suffered a concussion from a fall in 2023. And before that, the senator, who has a limp from surviving childhood polio, fractured his shoulder during a separate fall in 2019. McConnell is now the third oldest senator in Congress, and he's set set to resign at the end of his term in January, bringing an end to a 4-decade career in the Senate. Lindsay.
Olivia, thank you. Now to a big night on the ice. Game 6 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. The Carolina Hurricanes are just one win away from hoisting the championship trophy. But can the Vegas Golden Knights force a Game 7? Let's bring in ESPN's Steve Levy, Mark Messier, and Kevin Weeks. Guys.
Steve Levy with Mark Messier and Kevin Weeks. Lord Stanley will be in the building. The Stanley Cup mess. Can Carolina end it tonight and win on the road?
They can, but they're going to have to play it like they do in the first 10 minutes for 60 minutes tonight in a hostile environment here in Vegas. It's going to be the toughest game for them this playoff series. If they can do that and sustain it for 60 minutes, they got a great chance of bringing home the Stanley Cup to Carolina.
Golden Knights head coach John Tortorella so confident they're going to force a Game 7. He said he left his clothes in the hotel in Raleigh. What about it, Weeksy?
Well, I tell you now, he can't play Brett Howden only 9 minutes in the first 2 periods as he did in Game 5. He leads the Stanley Cup playoffs in goals. He's got to be over the boards every second shift, at max every third shift. You're one of the best players that ever played. You got to be on the ice. That's what I'm looking for to see here.
And maybe Vegas needs a Carter Hart shutout tonight. We will see. It's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final, 8 Eastern tonight from Las Vegas on ABC.
And there is still much more ahead on World News Tonight. This Sunday, the nationwide recall of organic baby formula infant sickened in several states. The dramatic rescue of an injured hiker clinging to a shaky cliff on a foggy night. And the explosion outside of a home in Chicago. The search for a suspect tonight. Now to the bungee jump tragedy in Brazil. Police say they are investigating this video posted on social media, and a warning, it is disturbing. A 21-year-old woman died after being launched off of a bridge without the rope that was supposed to be attached, falling 120 feet to her death. 3 men have now been arrested in the case. Back here now, Chicago police are investigating an explosion outside the home of a city alderman. Surveillance shows a vehicle pulling up near the home of Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez. A man gets out, places an explosive device, then drives away. Seconds later, the device goes off with the alderman's 3 children sleeping inside. According to his office, windows were shattered, but fortunately, no one was hurt. Now to that nationwide baby formula recall. Nara Organics voluntarily recalling their formula after the FDA said it was linked to 3 cases of botulism in babies in California, Pennsylvania, and Washington. The formula is sold at Target and online. The CDC is urging families to stop using it immediately. When we come back, the fighter jet crashing on a mountainside, sparking a fire. The fate of the pilot tonight. Next tonight, a fighter jet crashing into a mountain in Washington state, sparking a wildfire. The pilot ejected from the plane and was transported to the hospital. Campers in the area were forced to evacuate until firefighters are able to bring the blaze under control. No word just yet on what caused the crash. Now to the dangerous nighttime rescue of an injured hiker on San Francisco's Dead Man's Point. The hiker, trapped on a foggy cliffside in dangerous terrain, managed to call 911. Firefighters used flashlights and a drone from above, helping him to slide down to the water below. Rescue swimmers helped him into a boat after a 7-hour operation. He is expected to make a full recovery. When we come back, the NBA championship, a half-century in the making, a dream come true for the city that never sleeps. Finally, the city that never sleeps can rest easy tonight.
It's over. It's over.
This is what 53 years of waiting, wishing, and wondering looks like. The emotion spilling into the streets.
I've been a fan for 25 years. It means so much to win.
Landmarks lit up. Strangers embraced. Celebrities and subway riders, from Wall Street to Westchester and beyond, the city united in a sea of orange and blue. For generations, Knicks fans have carried hope despite heartbreak.
The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history.
But after that unforgettable Game 4 breathless buzzer beater, belief in Brunson and the entire squad galvanized the Big Apple.
Brunson shoots, ties the game.
Jalen Brunson, the finals MVP, once a young boy being coached by his father.
Good. Follow through though.
Rick Brunson, a former Knick himself, who reached the finals in 1999. On this night, father and son standing together at the summit.
You're getting to share this with your father. Just how special to you is that?
Kevin spent weeks saying Knicks in 4. Turns out it took 5. And perhaps that's fitting for a city known for its grit, resilience, and refusal to give up. As Sinatra famously sang, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, which of course included San Antonio last night. Orange and blue skies, congratulations. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis in New York. Have a great night.
David Muir, the most trusted, most watched newscast in America. And now, World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 4th year in a row.